Welcome to the Taco Tuesday show with your host Matt and my co-host the UFO.
Mm-hmm.
Can I
How's
find out
everybody?
your whereabouts, UFO?
Hovering, as per usual. Taking a touchdown to Earth every week or so. So,
haha.
pun intended.
What's the likelihood of me being abducted by you?
Depends on how this podcast goes.
Oh, okay. So I'm hoping well.
It's getting
I'm
weird.
hoping this goes well, because I don't want to be abducted.
Yeah,
All
that's
right,
never.
so-
That could be a bad thing or a good thing depending on
Yeah.
how this goes. Continue.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Ring,
Well,
ring.
we're going to talk about the most influential first-round picks of this year's NFL draft and how how they'll be most influential to their specific NFL team. UFO, let's start with you. I mean, outside of Myles Garrett, who we all know will impact the Browns, hopefully. I mean, they gave him the highest grade
Of course.
for the draft class, so I'm hoping that he impacts. If he doesn't, he's a bust. But outside of him, who is a few impact players for the NFL?
Okay, so I think when you look at somebody like a Watson, who basically got into a situation that would have been the best situation for him, you hope that he has the skill set that is good enough, but also takes advantage of the it factor so that he can actually cash it in. So that has the biggest bang potential because this team has the potential to be a playoff, not just a playoff team because they already did it last year with Brock, but a playoff plus. So if he can give them more than Brock Osweiler, he has a chance to look like a superstar at this point.
That's true. I mean, you have Sammy Watkins, Fuller, and Lamar Miller coming out of the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
You got a decent offensive line. No one really for tight end, but that's okay. I mean, he does have the potential there, though. I agree.
Yeah. So I think that as far as like, who was another guy that I really liked? There was the Tennessee Titans got the wide receiver.
Oh, Corey Davis.
Not many people are very high on that, but if it helps Mariota, yeah, then I'm happy with that. I like that the Broncos got somebody for their line. I think that was smart. I think just the fact that they chose offensive line, so that has potential, but a lot of people aren't high on that. I will be one of those people that will put my hat in the ring and say I like that pick. Of course, and this is not just Jets bias, I actually thought this was one of the steals of the first round, at least in the top 10. The Jets getting Jamal Adams was a really solid pick, just based on what they were saying about him, based on watching his tape, based on the culture change potential. It shows that they're not trying to they're just trying to get the best player. It just reminds me of the Williams pick. It's like, you can't say that they haven't been doing what they can, at least in the first round. I love how the Jets have been drafting. There's some things that I think are a little on and off,
definitely.
but especially in the first round.
After that round, it kind of fell off. And
you wonder if they changed rooms or something. I don't know. I mean, again,
did you forget that you drafted a safety in the first round?
Again, yeah. I mean, I could easily. I see, for being a part of this fan base, I see people making arguments on all sides. And I'd like to say you never know until it happens, but I don't want to get into that just yet. So, again, as this UFO flies, so do my Jets with that pick. Yeah. So, with that being said, I like if I'm gonna rate these, Jamal Adams I think is the best of at least in the first 10. I do think that, honestly, and again that's my bias. So what?
Yeah.
But also, I like Deshaun Watson to Houston. Man, that's a good pick. They're already a playoff team, so it's not like they're concerned about quote unquote building for the future. The future is now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
again, if you hopefully you got some good players as you were, but you don't want to constantly be thinking about that. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I agree. I didn't put Watson on my list, but I definitely think he can be an impact player this season.
Mm-hmm.
The three I put down three that I think can be stars this coming season.
Okay.
The first, as you said as well, I say Jamal Adams will be an NFL superstar by the end of this year.
Oh,
He brings speed, great defense. He has a great mind for how the defense works.
Yeah.
Off the field, he brings a great attitude, so he'll be bring that leadership role that the Jets have actually been really kind of missing for years.
It's been absent for a while.
Yeah, and I really think he'll become a leader in the locker room very, very quickly. My second is Marshawn Lattimore to the Saints.
Okay.
They got a bargain with him.
Yeah. No, that's a good call.
Yeah, in the mid first round, he's a lockdown corner. He can be a future island guy, a shutdown corner in the NFL. He's got a nose for the football. But something really interesting about him, coming from Ohio State, watching him play a little bit, he actually transitions to offense extremely well. Not that he's going to play offense, but what I mean is when he intercepts the ball, his ball carrying vision is remarkable. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So that's why I put him there as well. So if he picks it off, it's going to be a pick six most likely.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So getting him, I just look at that and going, that's a win. He's going to be the starter for the team. He's going to be just incredible. The third is O.J. Howard to the Bucs. His mix of size, speed, and hands is honestly incredible. I think he'll have a plus 100 yard season this year. His rookie year, I think he'll just blow the league away. He'll get 100 yards easy. Plus the fact that he can block means that he's going to be out in the field every single play. And getting him at 19 was just incredible for the Bucs. So those are my three that I would instantly on the field day one starters in the NFL. There's I mean obviously there's more, but all these first round picks are probably going to be starters, but except for Mahomes, but these three I think have the potential to do great things this season. Do you have any others that you're thinking of, or?
Mahomes is interesting if he actually becomes something.
Who's that?
Mahomes.
Oh, Mahomes.
He kind of shot up boards for a while. I remember that.
Yeah, he's definitely not a first year guy. He'll be. I mean, someday down the road we'll see what he becomes, but which hopefully he becomes something. But we don't know. We're going to transition to the most impactful players for our teams. So we're going to start with the Broncos. So we're going non-first round picks for this. So the Broncos had I think, an amazing draft class this year. I have three for these guys as well. I liked all the picks, really. But DeMarcus Walker, I like him. He's a pass rusher, but he can become a run stopper. He's kind of like a Malik Jackson 2.0. His size, speed, and everything, like he just pushes the pile. And I think it's a steal for the first round or for the second round because he's a first round talent.
Yeah.
And then the next guy is Carlos Henderson. Got him in the third round, the wide receiver.
Yeah, that's always good.
Yeah,
can't hurt.
I mean, here's the reason I really am high on Henderson. He's 6 foot, which is okay for a receiver, but he's got speed. He's got good route running skills. He's got good hands. But what dropped him was actually probably his height, most of all. he actually recorded the same amount of touchdown receptions in college football this year as Corey Davis, who was the 5th-round pick. And Corey Davis is just 6'3", if not 6'4". He's just a big dude. So I like Carlos Henderson. I'm really interested to see what they do with him. And then my other guy is Jake Butt. I'm really high on him. He's a great pick. He would have been a top 40 pick if it wasn't for his ACL tear in the Orange Bowl. But he's got also the skill of blocking and catching the ball, which is very rare to have with a tight end in the NFL anymore. And he would have honestly been the second tight end off the board, I think, if he was healthy. But getting him in the 5th is a risk, but the reward is extremely high. So those are my 3 guys I see as huge impact players for the Broncos come this NFL season. Do you have what do you think about the Broncos?
Okay. I think durability would be an issue with, you said it was your 3rd-round pick?
5th.
Or
Jake
5th. So that's something, I know you're pretty big on durability.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he can stay healthy, that's a really good catch.
Yeah, I mean it's a risk, but it's
Absolutely.
a 5th-round pick, and
so
the risk outweighs the reward at that pick.
Sure.
If it was like a 3rd-round pick for him, I'd go, you're kind of that's a little too high for him with the injury, with all of that. But
yeah, that makes sense.
5th round is okay. What do you think of the Broncos draft class? Who was a few impact players?
Well, again, I'm high on the tackle. I'm very high on the tackle. I like the wide receiver. I think that you can always add more depth in that sense. Now, was it Roddy White? Or that wasn't a guy. Did you guys have Robbie White or somebody like that? Or is that somebody? You guys got like a 2nd-rounder one year that was a wide receiver.
No.
Was it a 1st-rounder?
No.
Or was that a cornerback? I'm sorry.
Bradley
Was it
Roby?
last year? Roby. Was
Roby
a
we got
cornerback?
a couple years ago. He's a corner. Yeah, we got him.
Okay. How is he doing? I can't remember.
He plays that 3rd.
Yeah. Okay.
3rd cornerback spot behind Aqib Talib and Harris.
Okay. So you're defensively, you're set for the most part. So I think the more that you add to offense, the better. You could give Trevor some help. You give him some protection. Give him more things to throw to. You have your 2 wide receivers, but this could be your number 3, and I like that a lot.
Yeah,
so
it's
not a flashy draft by the Broncos. I'll tell you that right now. But it's a solid one.
Yeah, it's not like you get McCaffrey or some big or Leonard Fournette.
There weren't huge names or sexy picks, as the kids like to say.
Yes. They didn't get any of those. Do you like any others that they drafted, or?
Those are the ones that jumped out to me. Because I like offense. I think is something the Broncos need to really focus on. Agree. So
they really need to focus on the defensive line and the offensive line and getting another playmaker for the quarterback. And I think they did that. It wasn't the greatest picks, but they did it.
Did they get on the D-line again? Remind me.
DeMarcus Walker.
Okay. And what in like
the 2nd round? He's a 1st-round talent.
So if he turns out to be good, then that's a good draft on your part. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now we're talking about the Jets picks.
Yes, we're going to transition to the Jets now.
Fun. Well, I was pretty happy in the 1st round, and then I remember we were at one restaurant in space.
You landed somewhere?
No, actually, I landed somewhere.
Oh,
and then we went to Dave & Buster's for round 2, and man, did it feel like forever. I'm telling you, this we're sitting there, and it it was droning on, and I'm like, this is round 2, and it's got all the hype of round 1. I'm like, come on, let's just get it. And it felt exactly like the Jets round 1. Why? Because we got a safety. And I'm like, wait a second.
Wait, we didn't need that.
We already got that. So I was like,
get that?
So this is something I'm not used to. First 2 rounds, we get what feels like the same position. And the only logical explanation is they're doubling down, or they felt that this is the only explanation. They're either doubling down or they are adding to a position that they believe of strength. So they're adding.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're going to get rid of Gilchrist, and they're looking to trade Calvin Pryor. So there's 2. They were doubled down, or they were getting what they believe to be the highest player on their board. Yeah,
so they must think a lot of
wasn't
him.
The highest there, but
on their board it must have been. But I personally would have taken a cornerback there. I think that would have been great because you still solidify part of your secondary with 2 picks.
Yeah, if it was like a Sidney Jones, I mean, he got drafted in the second round, but
who'd they have there?
He's not going to play for most of this year, but you could have gotten a cornerback for the future, kind of thing.
I know, and the problem was there was a guy I cannot remember his name. He was from Florida. I think it was Mitch something, and I was really
Trubisky.
No, stop right there. No, he was gone. Bears.
Yeah, but what's a few picks in this draft that will be influential this coming season for the Jets, though?
On the plus side, yes, we doubled down in the secondary, but it will help our secondary in the long run. Yeah. So I think the impact you could see from the first 2. And I'll just explain this
Jeremy
as
Clark and Derek Jones in the 6th round.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I mean, you got them, but they were later picks.
So I'll just say this: with Jamal Adams and Marcus May, we have Burris. If he starts to play better, which maybe they think, hey, listen, this guy could be a starter next year. That's fine. You have Marcus Williams, who could probably be on the other side, but we also got that guy in the free agency. From the Cowboys. His name escapes me for some reason, but I was really thrilled about that because if he stays healthy, he's good. All of a sudden, you have an okay secondary if everything meshes well, which it may not, which it most likely won't right in year 1. But hey, now what you got in the 3rd round, who could be an interesting pick? More of a chain mover, somebody that you kind of add to the group, and that's Stewart. Stewart was an interesting pick. Again, a chain mover. I don't know exactly how sharp of this guy, as far as, and again, we doubled down a second time and got Chad Henson. Yeah. Now, again, I feel like we kind of have strength in wide receiver, but this adds to, if anything, a strength. Anunwa, you have
Decker,
Robbie Anderson, who I guess got arrested or something like for the.
You got the other Marshall kid.
So there's a lot of youth there. So there's targets, and Decker will always be consistently good. Now here's one that might actually end up being something. Jordan Leggett, I think, is a fascinating pick. If he becomes consistent catching the ball, he could be a steal.
Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering, who do you think out of this will be impact players? I mean, you have to pick a few or a few. I mean, don't give me the whole list. I'm looking
I totally get you. I will say Jordan Leggett. Jamal Adams feels like an obvious pick, so I'm gonna say Jordan Leggett and maybe Chad Henson, with a bit of Marcus May sprinkled in, because if he becomes like a strong safety, and Jamal Adams becomes the free safety, or vice versa. Either way, I like that pair, if that makes sense. So we'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
So what are your thoughts?
My impact players for the Jets, honestly, is Jamal Adams, which is obvious, but he's the first round pick, so I can't say that. Marcus May, I do like, but I wish it wasn't there.
Yeah. Understandable.
So, yeah. But I only have one impact player. That's the sad thing. And I like Henson as that pick there too. So I agree. Henson could be interesting.
Yeah,
But
deep
my
threat.
pick is my impact player is Jordan Leggett as well, the
Yeah.
tight end.
Yeah.
He's skilled. He's 6'5". He's a big guy. You throw it near him, he's going to catch it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Honestly, I think he's going to be a nightmare for opposing corners and safeties. And plus, the Jets, what they have is they have John Morton as their new OC, and he's from the Saints. And you always know that, Drew Brees loves quarterbacks, or tight ends.
Tight ends.
So
he loves throwing that ball to quarterbacks.
Yes, he loves throwing the ball to his own position. But he loves tight ends.
Yes.
And so I think that will probably translate to a young quarterback in either whoever's starting, Hackenberg or Bryce Petty, this season. And I think that will translate because what they're going to do is a young quarterback needs a tight end. I mean, you remember playing Madden like years ago, right?
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely. Yep.
And
Dustin Keller.
Yeah, Dustin Keller.
Dustin Keller.
Every single time. And what it is it's that easy throw to. So I think Jordan Leggett's going to get a lot of catches. Whether he's going to be amazing or not, I'm not sure. So I would agree that Jordan Leggett's going to be a good pick this season.
And again, the big question is Hackenberg ready?
Yes.
Unless it's Petty. That's what I always say. Is Hackenberg ready? Unless it's Petty. So it's just so again, you're surrounded by interesting pieces. Can it be utilized and come together? Yeah. If not, all's forward to 2018 draft. I'm not going to jump ship, okay, just because my team is bad. It's called being a real fan.
UFO?
Oh gosh. Why would I? What, you can't call yourself a fan and then just clock out when things aren't going your way. Like it's just part of.
At all.
It's too pathetic.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's our impact players for the 2017 draft, and you've heard it from us. Do you have anything else to say to the Earthlings, my UFO friend?
Well, things are getting weird. All right. I've been observing a lot of recent phenomenon. Bill Nye and his multiple genders. Where we come from,
Bill Nye saved the universe.
There's only 3,
right?
So what's that?
Bill Nye saves the universe. His new thing.
He wishes. Yeah. Honestly, no. I'm just kidding. There's as many genders as there are Koreas. All right, we'll see you guys later.
All right, see you later. Thanks for listening to the Taco Tuesday show.
No.